Welcome to Broad Strokes, Fortune's show where we talk about the news that matters to women. So 2017 kicked off with some big news from Megyn Kelly, who is leaving Fox News. She has signed with NBC, where she's going to have sort of a three-part role. She's going to do a daily talk show. She's going to have a Sunday night news magazine program, and she's also going to participate in all their big political and big event coverage. We knew that she was considering other networks, but I still think this sort of came as a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, one of the really big things that came out from the story for me was the fact that she chose NBC despite the fact that Fox reportedly offered her more money. NBC offered her flexibility. They said she would be home for dinner every night. In the war for talent, it's a reminder that some people care about flexibility way more than they do about salary.
Another sort of unexpected piece of this story has been who has been chosen as her replacement. Maybe 4 or 5 different women were mentioned as possible candidates, but now the news is breaking that it's actually going to go to Tucker Carlson. It's an interesting decision for a network that in the last few years has really sort of built itself around its female talent, but now you have Megyn Kelly leaving, Greta Van Susteren recently left, and there's been a lot of controversy around the network and women, and here they are promoting Tucker Carlson. So we'll see if this is an overall trend or if this is just sort of a one-time thing.
Another story that we've been watching really closely over the past few weeks is this whole Rockettes Trump inauguration saga. Now, the Trump inauguration has become this hugely political event with a lot of people saying they don't want to perform, with designers saying they don't want to dress Melania. And so when the news broke that the Rockettes would be performing, a lot of people were criticizing the executive chairman of the Madison Square Garden company, which owns the troupe, for basically making this decision for all the dancers.
The company is saying, we are not going to require the dancers to perform. It's optional. But I think all of us have been in positions at work where something was optional, but you knew that your boss really wanted you to do it.
They're also under a lot of pressure because of the media. So, obviously a lot of these women don't want to perform, but a lot of these women may think that this is a huge honor. And for them, now this has become this whole media firestorm, a huge controversy. This is not what they signed up for.
I really think we're going to see more stories like this. I think we're going to see more groups that in the past would just have felt like it was an honor to be invited to the White House to do something with the president. And now it's become so politicized that I think everybody's going to have to rethink those ideas. So this is our first show of 2017, and I thought it'd be fun for us to kind of go through some of our predictions, some of the big stories that we're planning to watch this year. For me, I'm really interested in all of these new laws that are going to go into effect this year. One that I'm really excited about is the fact that by the end of next year, every company with over 100 employees is going to be required to report what they're paying those people, broken down by both gender and by race, and I think that's going to really give us some insight into the pay gap.
Yeah, I think that one's going to be huge. And this also might be the year that we finally see America get paid maternity leave. It might not be as extensive as we want, but if Trump keeps his campaign promise, we might actually get onto the same page as the rest of the world.
Another great piece of news is just that we're expecting the number of female CEOs in the Fortune 500 to hit a new record, which is great. Compared to the last 2 years, the number actually dropped, which was really upsetting. Barring unexpected news, we're thinking it's going to be 27 women by the end of the first quarter. I know that doesn't sound like a lot out of 500, but this is more than we've ever seen.
It's still a little bit over 5%, but yeah, it's true. It's progress, baby steps.
There's also some news that I'm less excited about. For instance, I'm really predicting there's going to be a huge attack on Planned Parenthood. There's a House committee that's recommending that we stop federal funding to the group, which is the largest provider of women's reproductive health services. That would have a huge impact on women.
That, coupled with the fact that Trump has basically promised to nominate an anti-abortion justice to the Supreme Court, I think that's going to be huge. I think there's going to be so much news around women's health this year.
Yeah. And we'll be watching that news and all the other stories that matter to women this year on Broad Strokes. So come back next Friday for another episode on Fortune.com.